This is an unedited recording of the full meeting. Public comments are held at the end of the meeting. Thank you for watching. Please hit the like button and leave a comment. It really helps the algorithm. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell to get all the upcoming videos from our channel. Thank you and enjoy the video.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing for a moment of silence. Please take your seats. Roll call, please.
Martina. Here. Barnhart. Here. Roaches.
Here.
It's kind of like
There was an executive meeting held prior to tonight's meeting to discuss personnel and possible litigation. Is there any public comment on agenda items at this time? Any public comment on agenda items at this time? No. All right. Moving on, new business, Mr. Backer.
So I am looking for a vote in the permit to go for an Arlie grant to put pedestrian signals and work on the Chestnut and Wolverton intersection. We actually got a TA set-aside grant for this originally, but we had some overages after working with PennDOT that this was no longer able to be covered under that budget, so we were told that we should go for an Arlie grant to do this portion of that project.
Questions, anyone? All right, so I'll make the motion to apply, have Mr. Backer apply for that grant. Do I have a second?
Ister.
Yes.
Savage.
Yes.
Roaches.
Yes.
Barnhart.
Yes.
Martina. Yes.
Keep going, Mr. Backer.
Infradat, we needed to add a subscriber for an email because we ran out of users. We did clean our current user list, so we were able to reutilize two, but we needed one more. And I believe that was $25 per email. So I believe that's a month, but give me a second. I didn't have that pulled up.
That sounds about right, $25 a month.
How long do you have on that contract?
We have another year and a half to go.
They can't be, you know,
Trust me, I'm counting down the days.
there's no way to break it.
Only if there was a breach of contract. Now, their breach of contract may be different from our opinion of breach of contract, but that's the only way we can get out of that contract. And Joel, this is just saying, this doesn't make an extent anything, it's just saying we just want you price to do that.
Correct.
All right.
So, this was to add on an agreement. This was advised to include license for Sean Williams as well as Gregory Hoffman, so there were two. And that came to $51. So I apologize if I was one. And then we have a setup fee and activation fee, which is $75. So you have the first month and the setup activation is $126 up front, and then $51 repeating after that.
And we do have computers for them, we don't have to buy/rent them off our Infradat.
I don't know.
Okay, because originally.
As far as I know, for the police department, and you can correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah,
I don't know if does each individual officer have their own workstation?
correct, yes.
Okay. So I would
We'll have to see if we have
I would
an
defer
inventory.
to the chief on that one. I'm not sure if he
Yeah.
has enough on that.
Adding those two, is that going to cover the rest of the officers? That you-
So we took some, so the ones that we lost, we took, let's say, we lost one and added one, so it equaled out. So originally we had 10, plus all the other part-timers, we just we had to add the other one to be that 11th one. So right now we are covered, so we had some on Infradat of people who no longer worked here, we got rid of.
But you have to get the archive their units.
No, that stuff was already taken care of when they left. So all that stuff was taken care of. We just had to add another additional user because we did not have, as Mr. Backer said, enough user accounts for lack of terms.
What about the three that are in the, going to?
Yeah, that included all of them. Because let's say we wiped off, I don't know the exact number, I'm saying we wiped off 6, but we had to add 7, so we had to add an additional
correct, we wiped 5 users off,
So we wiped 5, and we had to get 6 additional new ones.
7, because there was.
Oh, 7.
But to your point, not all of those users were police emails, to your point.
That doesn't matter.
I know, I'm just letting you know, like, so like, if John is hiring anybody, there's no extra users left.
Yeah, then we'd have to go on and add another one.
We still have to go get another,
Yeah.
to your point.
Alright, so any other questions on that one? Alright, so I'll make the motion to add these users to the InfraDAG contract. Do I have a second?
Savage.
Yes.
Brochus.
Yes.
Barnhart.
Yes.
Martina. Yes. Ister.
Alright, Councilman Barnhart.
Yeah, I'd like to make a motion to let businesses around the park put a sandwich board out there during their business hours, have them removed, and if a function's going on, they,
Work with
yeah,
the,
right, work with the city. I think it's obstructing, especially the one facing the side one towards the river.
yeah.
I see some out anyhow, people putting them out there.
And the business says it's more, the traffic driving by can see it better than if it's on the building parallel with the road, if there's actual signage. So it was something that they suggested how it could help their businesses just, be more, that's not the right word. They catch the eye of the car driving by, so that's where this came about.
And it wouldn't be gaudy, like a 4x6 or 4x5 or something like that.
Yeah, something small, but yeah.
Is it that far?
No, it's just, it won't be electronic, it's just be like, you put the letters in saying, we'll say, open from 2 to 8, the Moose, or Hidden Stories, or Eclipse, or whatever it may be.
Question. Now, you're restricted just to the business around the park. First of all, the park was built and designed for beauty, not signage, number one. Number two, it was a city park. How can you say only certain people can put the signs in there? That's number two. Number three, cutting the grass, maintaining the park, who's going to be moving the signs back and forth when they're cutting the grass?
Well, believe it or not, Jim, the guy will have to get off the mower to move the sign, cut, and then move it back. Just like if there's garbage there, they have to pick it up, same concept.
And it's not gonna be like in the middle of the park, it's just gonna be along the edge. They can just pick, cause I see them out there now. as it is.
So anybody in the city, somebody can put signs in the park, is that what you're saying?
No, we're just saying,
I said, if
the
you're,
businesses that are located around the park to help with signage, no different if someone puts it along the sidewalk that's further up Market Street to say, hey, we're open these times, or whatever it may be.
So you are restricting it to certain businesses?
No, I'm not saying that, I'm just saying, those are the businesses that express their concern about saying, hey, this is something the city could do to help us.
Once you allow that, then anybody can put a sign in. Just so I'm getting correct, you guys are going to allow anybody to put signs in the park?
Well, they'd have to submit a letter saying, hey, we want to do this, not just have some Joe Blow from wherever say, I just want to put my sign here, put my sign here.
Well, that's any sign, any business in the city of Sunbury, that's what you're going to allow.
Well, if you want to get technical, yeah, but you could do that anywhere then. If you want to get technical, we could have them put signs on Front Street, or signs down Market Street, or signs on 4th Street.
That's why you don't see signs in Front Street in our parks, that's why you don't see them in Cameron Park.
Well, I mean, if you don't like it, just vote no. We're just trying to do something to help the businesses. It's something.
The only other thing, just to add in, I mean, you got wind come through there, if they get knocked out in traffic, who's liable?
Well,
Everybody's. I'm just saying, I mean, if we're permitting put signs in
let's say
there,
if the wind comes by and knocks a branch down off a tree and it hits a car.
yeah, but that's a natural event.
How many
So is
signs
the wind.
Yeah.
How many signs would bring it's gonna let one towards like that? I mean, I'm not opposed to the idea, but I think there has to be some.
I mean, I say we start right now with the businesses surrounding the park because that helps them. I mean, if we could take it as it comes forward, hey, if this is a bad idea, we just take it back and say, hey, this wasn't working out. But if you don't want to try anything new, you're never gonna know if it works or doesn't work.
Joe, can we limit it to just people, businesses around the park?
Probably. Because why is someone's, well, I'm gonna say, use a dumb example, at the north end of 4th Street, you wanna put a sign saying, whatever, open, and then someone drives by and say, hey, where's this business at, and they're nowhere to be found.
But you're just allowing them to have them in the park during business hours.
Yes, during
They're
business-
away on those.
Yeah, just.
Yeah, when they're not open, the sign has to come down, like, they can't stay there 24
What
hours.
about if there's events in the park or
Then
things
they
like that?
can't put them in, so they said if something's going on in the park, they can't, it'd be up to the city's discretion to say, no, you can't do it. When, let's say on Saturday when they have, in
Yeah.
the park, you can say, no, you can't.
Are you doing so that it's like, so they can promote the specials, or they can promote certain days? You're gonna do time frame? I'm just curious, like how
So why don't we-
or often?
So Joel just made a suggestion that we just table it as he creates a permit for said signage for, with all the information, hey, it's gonna be up during, well, I'm gonna use an example, from 8 to 4:30, here are my business hours, I'm responsible for A, B, C, D.
And it would be businesses that have real property that borders the
Cameron Park.
Camera Park. And we'll figure something out. Steve, maybe you can help me, I might be in contact with you to ensure that they're not gonna blow away.
Yeah, you know, you can weigh it down, stake it down, whatever.
Sandbags,
Well, I would make it also, so.
Right.
Yeah, it has to be a 2x3 or 2x4, you know, whatever.
See the same time.
Yes, agreed.
Specifications of what
And,
like,
and where exactly would I have to go with the,
Yeah, like, you know, we'll say for example, 2 feet off the curb, I don't know, I'm just throwing stuff out here, I don't know, but.
I have a question too. Are there any competing ordinances or street laws about visibility or like obstructions along the road?
Yes, there is, yeah.
So how do we get around that?
Mike, how far does the signage have to be off the road? I remember before, you know, it can't be a digital sign that changes so often, but.
Well, there isn't no clear cut in our signage ordinance that states how far it has to go off the road. All it basically says it cannot be visual distraction, flashing, rotating, causing, visual obstruction.
Yeah,
So,
And maybe what we could say is that it's in delineated areas to avoid the corners.
yeah,
Because the corners is where you're really gonna have a problem, somebody backing out, not being able to see or whatever.
yeah,
So we could say it in delineated areas only.
yeah.
Only if it's in the right of way. Only if it's in the right of way.
What's right over there?
Or it's not in the street.
basically, prevent that. Right across the park, they're right of way. Yeah, right of way.
so that,
We don't know, but they're right of way in
Yeah.
the park.
I mean,
But I don't think, I'm saying, I don't think it's gonna be a major issue with PennDOT. They did have a huge issue years ago with signage along PennDOT roadways where I had to go out and take the bulk of the Sunbury sign down. So I'm afraid that they made, that this was a big lawsuit thing with signs and blowing into traffic and accidents and
Political signs.
they just said, that's it, no signs. So that may be an issue.
what about the signs that are staked in the ground already around the park?
Yeah, but they're all designed, they're per design, they're for PennDOT approved design.
I won't buy back Market Street, don't worry about this. We'll have them repair it and you'll be happy.
let's get through the first
Yes.
term first.
I'm not finished on that side.
All right, so let's table it, Joel, we can get something written up here and then
We'll check with PennDOT.
check with
I'll make a
PennDOT.
motion to table it.
Second.
And Joe, what I'll do is I'll put you in touch with the people who were in touch with me on the signage stuff with PennDOT. That way we know the attorney to attorney, hey, can we, can't. Just email me. Yep.
Yes.
Yes,
Barnhart?
Yes.
all right, keep going, Councilman Barnhart.
Make a motion to make Mike Rhodes, city health inspector. He is also gonna be, able to train, what is it, Mike, after you get your certified, then you'll be able to train others. So we're gonna have somebody else, Mike is gonna train somebody else, so we have a backup. So I make a motion to appoint Supervisor Mike Rhodes as the health inspector.
Second.
Ister. Savage.
Yes.
Brochus.
Yes.
Barnhart.
Yes.
Martina. Yes.
So they get this fine,
Is that?
so they get paid more than you, thanks for.
He's the salary, so, no, he's not. How's that? There you go. You got-
He asked if you were gonna get an additional pay increase according to what we have on our ordinance.
Not at this.
just doing due diligence for the city.
There you go. Thanks, Mike.
All right, keep going, Councilman Barnhart.
I'd like to hire a full-time code officer, pending, vote of the council, but I'd like to go ahead and hire one as soon as they do interview, because we're in desperate need for a full-time code enforcement officer. So I make a motion to hire one. Pending. Yes.
Second.
Question. Let's see, Mr. Barnhart, you have the next one in line here, or part-time.
Yes,
Have you taken and did the numbers if the full-timer needs health care? You have that in your budget?
we do.
I'm sorry,
We have a full-time, if we, the person we hire needs benefits, we have,
I can't give a direct answer. Because we're actually combining two employees that left.
Were they full or part-time?
Well, one was part and one was full, but the full-timer did not have insurance. So that throws us into and if we look at the scenario, if we hire a full-timer that needs insurance, I don't believe our budget will be able to support that.
But also at the same time, this is what we did with the front office with the police department. We did interview, seeing what candidates we have. Sometimes they don't want full-time status, sometimes they just want part-time status. So, I mean, I think it's one of those things, you interview it out, you see how it goes, and then you see that, you know, you don't promise anyone a job, you just say, you look at all your candidates, see what they want, see what they don't want, and, you know, if, you may have a good candidate, when he wants part-time, and
But you're advertising for.
yes, but, you know, sometimes it doesn't work. I mean, just because you advertise for something doesn't mean you always get what you want, so.
Let's suppose you get what you want, a full-time person.
But then they have to figure it out then. I mean, it's not like we're gonna approve anything until we know it, like, obviously it's pending everything, and if it doesn't work out in the budget, then obviously, hey, we're not gonna do this. But, you know, we can't just say, it's been, Mike, it's been how long since you had a part-timer and a full-timer? You know, it doesn't like the work doesn't stop or anything. Been over.
No, I haven't had full staff since like February.
So, like, it's one of these things we can't wait, but, you know, you have one that you know you can bring on part-time for sure, and then maybe just advertise it for part-time or whatever it may be, but you gotta keep the ball rolling. The work is not going away. The issues are not gonna, the issues aren't going away.
I will use my best judgment when I hire someone.
Gentlemen, I can tell you, excuse me, gentlemen and madam, I can tell you this, with the loss of our last full-time employee, our department is really being affected. We're getting inundated with plate calls when we would normally be out in the streets. Because we have individuals that look at different sectors of the city, and we don't have that now. With the part-timer loss, we were able to control that, but now with the full-timer, we're just totally,
You're behind what you normally
we're
could be
way
doing.
behind, we're getting way behind further and further, and, you know, with more projects coming into the city, you know, we're actually losing, well, myself, because I'm concentrating and working on them, so we're actually losing two per se.
Yeah.
We're getting
So-
calls all the time.
So-
Before you actually officially offer the job, you decide who you wanna hire, you're gonna call and talk to us about it, or you're
Yes,
gonna, so
yes.
we're gonna have that conversation, you're gonna know at that point if you can feasibly say, I can
Right.
work full-time or
Right.
part-time.
Before it's official, I'll make sure that there's,
Well, my point, Mr. Berry, was full-timer is more important than part-timer. And it's more critical to figure that situation out before you spend money on a part-timer. Then your hands are kind of tied with the full-timer.
What if this part-timer works out to be really good here, and you possibly promote them to the full-time position after, you know, they've been in here for, we'll say, a couple weeks, like, hey, those part-timers really working out. We'd like to see if they would like to move into that full-time position. I mean, you don't,
You're already gonna have to fill, but then he's gonna start advertising.
but, I mean, yeah, but to actually fill it full, I mean, this person's ready to start, to interview, it's a week or so down the road, this person can jump in there, learn the job, hey, this is a really good decision. Two, they're down two positions, they're down a full-time position and a part-time position, that were already budgeted for, yes. No, more than that, that's just for the individual. If you want families, like an additional $7 per person.
All our properties were cited.
All right, so we're going in circles here. So, John, so you agreed, I don't know if we put this in the voter, just to have an agreement on how you want to do it, Joel, that he will run, after he does all the interviews, he contacts all of us separately, saying this is what I want to email, this is who I want to hire, is it feasible? Boom, can we do that?
Well,
Or should we have-
separately, but you have to vote.
Yeah, we need to vote here. All right,
But he can just give us a heads up ahead of time so we know we're going into,
Right,
we know he's ready for it.
correct, yeah.
I'll have all my eyes dotted, T's crossed.
The only thing you can't do is you can't, I want to say this, you can't say, hey, we can't hire you because you need benefits. You can't say, do you need benefits?
No.
It's basically, if you're hired for full-time with benefits, you can't then ask, hey, do you need them or do you not need them? You gotta be careful with that.
Yeah, you know,
That's the script.
and we don't want to be like that, because we're not like that. You're the city of Sunbury.
That is exactly correct.
All right, so John, make that motion what Joel just said.
I do, I make that motion.
Second.
Savage,
Yes.
Ister, Martina, Barnhart,
Yes.
Yes, keep going, Councilman Barnhart.
I'd like to hire Cheryl Dowsite part-time in the code department.
Second. Yes.
Is that gonna be a problem,
It'd be similar to what Joe Swope does, correct?
She's going down
No, but she was on the other retirement, right?
She's gonna be.
Oh, she's not drawing in, okay, there you go.
Martina,
Yes.
Ister, Savage,
Yes.
Brochus.
Yes.
Barnhart.
Yes.
Councilwoman Martina.
Well, we no longer, we can skip that one, we no longer are looking to hire, well, we're looking to hire, we're no longer going to go this route. And then you can skip to the next one for me, and
Go
we'll,
ahead.
Steve on that one.
Yeah, we're just adding to our sale list that we continue to bring in. This is the fourth sale list. This sale list includes our 3 Cup Cadet mowers, our Coyote UTV. We also went to, make understanding with council that any proceeds from the sales of these goes back into buying 3 more Cup Cadet mowers, another UTV.
Question on UTV, what do you expect to get for that?
We're gonna run the numbers on it. We're
Okay.
gonna run the numbers on it. Everything's going up with a reserve, okay? Everything here has about 1,000 or less hours on it, okay? The concept here is to flip these out, bring in new ones with a very minor addition of cash on top of that. is the concept.
What's a minor addition of cash?
We're running the numbers on it, okay? But I need to have the approval first to put them out there on a reserved auction.
Okay, what's your reserve for the?
Each one has a different number.
Well, that's what I'm saying, like, what do you think the reserve is for, like, the second mower, third mower, fourth mower, UTV? Because they're the newest items there, that's what I'm curious
Yeah,
about.
I have them down shop, I don't have.
Oh, okay. Because wherever your Coyote is, expect it does what, I want to get rid of our hunk of junk too, so.
Yeah,
Once
it's,
you
it's,
decide.
Yeah, they're junk.
Yeah.
Never should have bought
Ours is in the garage.
yeah, we spend more time.
them. Never should have bought them, they're
Yeah.
junk.
Well, I mean, who would know? You know what I mean? It's just right now, things are, some of the stuff we're getting from overseas, it's just been, we've been running these things back and forth and that are coming out of warranty and I don't want, we've really spent a lot of time
And
trailing
money.
these things back and forth and money and labor and so, yeah, that's what I'm looking at is getting rid of them. We're also gonna be, on the list there also, if you look at your packet, there's a selling of the old Chase lounges and chairs and that type of stuff from the pool. There's an old plow on there. Yeah, so,
But do you have money in your budget to purchase 3 Cup cadets and the UTV?
the thing about it is, with our discounts we get from Cup Cadet, we get a 27% discount.
Okay.
We can, reserves on these, that we only have to add a very minor amount of money to do the flip and roll over and turn into something.
I think you gotta jump and put it to the motion, that you're gonna purchase 3 until you sell everything. Think about it. Once you know what the budget is,
Okay, well, when do I mow my grass?
well, you're not gonna buy something now anyway.
You wanna buy the new ones now and sell them?
No, I'm looking at having 3 set and ready to go. Put these up for reserve. If they go for the reserve, awesome. Then I can roll that money, flip it into the new ones, go pick them up and we're mowing. If it doesn't go for the reserve, we stay where we go. Okay, that's pretty much the goal. It upgrades the motors, it keeps them fresh, it keeps them new.
So the way I read this is they're purchasing 3D cut cadets and UGs.
Yep. That would be all.
Only if the reserve.
Only if the reserves are met to make the whole thing work.
And you can put that into the form of a motion.
Yeah.
I just say, when I go to sell my UTV, we want to be the one to go test drive and see which one we want to get. That's, I mean, that's gonna be down
Yeah,
there.
and that's your, you know, that's your thing, like I said, I mean, it's just, and honest, I mean, the Coyotes, we're not bad units, it's just,
They were back.
well, it's like this, it's like the mowers that we got, the Husqvarna mowers, where we thought they were good residential mowers, they're good small ones to fit what we had to do. The friggin' front wheels fell off them after friggin' 5 minutes using them, and it's just a design flaw, they're junk. I mean, there's so much stuff being manufactured, it's just junk right now, you have to be so careful, you just don't know.
All right, Lisa, put it in form of a motion.
I am putting that in form of a motion.
Second.
With the contingency that
Yes.
the reserves are.
The reserves are met, yes.
Barnhart.
Yes.
Brochus.
Yes.
Savage.
Yes.
Ister. Martina.
Yes.
Councilman Savage, vouchers and payments.
I am putting in the form of a motion the approval of abstracts and vouchers for general fund in the amount of $216,399.73, liquid fuels in the amount of $47,766.36, private grants in the amount of $7,835.70, and payroll in the amount of $95,320.94.
Second.
Martina.
Yes.
Barnhart.
Yes.
Brochus.
Yes.
Savage.
Yes.
Ister.
Discussion items. Brush pile, nothing against Steve on this one. This was just a concern for people who don't live in Sunbury, who don't have a place to go dump their brush. They said that they would like to have a place, they said they'd be willing to pay a fee to come dump it here, just to cover the cost of the person working there. I mean, I don't know if that's something that council wants to explore, but it's people who we'll say live in Hamilton, who have a small, don't have a place to go dump it, or on the island, or who do live out in the country, but who don't have a backyard of a woods. They said they'd be willing to pay a fee, whatever, well, obviously not that's reasonable, just to come dump their brush here, whether it's a bag or a truckload or a trailer load. That'd be something the city, could determine what those fees would be. But I think it's a good way that we could help cover the cost of somebody sitting up there on a Saturday if somebody wants to come in from outside the city to dump. Obviously, once again, I know whoever's up there is always taking down, driver's license where they live, so obviously you know where they live. But I think it's something that we should look into, just to help other people out, and also to cover our costs of someone sitting there. I didn't know anyone else's thoughts were on it, but ideas.
The only thing is, you have to take into consideration, isn't just taking the brush in and paying for the guy that's monitoring it coming in. I mean, at that point, then I have to process it, I have to run it through my shredder, I have to treat it, I have to roll it every.
Yeah, but at least you're getting paid now, and now we're not getting anything. Something's better than nothing.
Well,
I mean, a little bit more, but.
no, that's what I'm saying, I mean, we have to put together a rate structure in such a way that we would at least cover all those costs.
Holy cow, see, let's not make it complicated here. Poor Francis getting phone calls from the item all the time.
No, it would just be, hey, if it's a pickup load, it's this much, if it's trailer
Well,
load,
that's
it's
what I'm
this
saying.
much. If it's 2 bags, it's whatever, but
Yeah.
enough that something I can work with, that we're not, and the other thing to consider is, again, it's not just cost, it's also labor, the amount of labor that I have to work with. When I come in here trying to hire people left and right, and it's damn near impossible for me to get anybody who wants to work these days, okay? So it's really hard for me also to fulfill extra labor capacity, not just the monetary dollar.
Steve,
Things to think about.
you'll be moving 20 signs, what's a little bit of brush, don't worry.
Listen, he's salary, he can sit up there and say.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Like I said, is this something to think about, Steve? If you want to get rates together, is this so, something's better than nothing coming in?
Steve, though, on a serious note, holidays that were closed up there, if you put a sign up, and I get phone calls that nobody's here, and it's a holiday for us, but not the general public.
Well, I went up by the next holiday, Jim, thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Moving on, police grants for their vests. The chief couldn't be here tonight. They had a situation at the last minute here, so he couldn't be here. But, he just wanted to make council aware that hopefully, him and Derek can work together to start looking for grants to cover their vests. They are coming up to expire. I mean, with their full-time officers, that's 11 vests. I think 5 of them are going to be expiring here at the end of this year, and that's about, don't quote me on this, I'm trying to remember off the top of my head, like $7,000 to $8,000 for, I think that's 5 new vests. Eventually, we're gonna need another 6 vests. So it's just, we're trying to plan ahead, try to look for grants to cover these costs. So I just want to bring that to council's attention if anyone has questions on that.
Mayor, may I ask you?
Yes, sir.
To include 2 additional vests, if we could incorporate the code office into that also?
Yeah, that's fine.
Please.
But I said, Derek can try to look for some vests grants for vests as the chief's also looking on his end, so 2 people at once can hit that. Try to.
Full disclosure, I'm not sure if the code department will be covered underneath that grant. I just want to say, like, I don't want individuals to think that, you know, it necessarily is automatic that just because the code has vests that they would be covered under that.
Eric, whatever you can do for us is very much appreciated.
Yeah.
I have a question too. Do you think it's a possibility, has anybody looked at like going in with maybe some other municipalities? Can we get group rates or joining with grants combinations?
I don't know how the grant portion, but it kind of goes back when they're due. So like, for example, our guys are due at the end of this year. Like, we can't wait and say, oh, you know, next year we all go in for example, we'll say 20 vests. Like, no, we got to get them now because this is when they expire. And we get, I'm sorry.
Are they on CoStar?
They probably are, but I'm saying instead of taking out of the budget that we budgeted for, if we could save, you know, $3,000 to $4,000 by getting a grant, we just save $3,000 to $4,000 of taxpayer dollars. So that's the point why we're trying to do that, yeah.
You still, probably could still need bids.
No, because it's under the threshold, right, Joel?
It depends on the stipulations of that grant.
Yeah, it depends on the grant.
Oh, yeah, but,
Honestly, I can't tell you on that one. I wouldn't know until I got the contract, quite frankly. If we were.
yeah, well, you say, see what it says in the grant, we can go out and get bids for it, find CoStar, it is what it is, but, you know, we're just trying to save what we can save.
Don't quote me on this, but I don't think they did in the past because they've always gone to the same outfit, and that's where we got the code ones, and it's had a balloon sport, the name's escaping me, but that's who they've always gone for them, so. Yes. So, I don't think
They may get CoStar.
they might do CoStar's dealer at that point. I'm not 100% sure on that.
But, you know, it's just something we can try to look for. If it works out, great. If it doesn't, but at least we try. We're just saying grants in general.
It depends. There is a federal one. I have to check the state.
Unless you go through CoStar for the deputies.
Yeah, correct. I forget the name of that, but yes.
All right, any other questions on that one? All right, moving on, housing permit requirements. I know we spoke about this in passing with each other, but we had to bring it up in a public meeting for discussion about housing permit requirements. I know that Councilman Barnhart and I discussed about adding an additional requirement when it comes to rental permits and about having a background check be required as one of the paper documents to turn in to get your housing, is it housing permit? I don't want to say the wrong thing. To get your housing permit, rental permit. And once again, this is no way saying anyone's going to be discriminated against. It's just requiring the landlord to turn in the background check with their necessary other paperwork that is needed.
Is that a cost to the landlord?
That would be, that would be the cost of the landlord, yes. I mean, it's just like most landlords, I know Deb, you're a big one on it, how you guys already run your own. Yeah, so it's just, hey, for a new tenant, I'm just turning that one more additional paperwork in, not a big deal.
I thought we did this before, that's fine. I just
Well,
assumed that.
correct me if I'm wrong, it is on the, it's something we did.
Talked about it and never got passed.
Yeah, so that's what we're talking about, to get it onto a vote, to get it passed, so in 2025, when the new permits go out, the landlords know, they're aware of, will be aware of it for the next 6 months, so they can't play, oh, you just do this on a December.
Do they do it every year then for if, like, say for instance, you have a tenant that lives there 10 years, every year do they do an?
I mean, I'd be all up to what council wants to do. My own personal opinion, I would say yes, because, things change every year, but that's up to what council requires. It may say every 2 years, 3 years, whatever, but my own opinion is it would be every year. That's just my own opinion.
And we might even think, if you have the same tenant in there forever, and nothing's, they haven't broken any laws or
That you know of.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's why beat a dead horse if they're not doing anything, just, but if
Well,
anybody
because
else moves in or any additional.
Sometimes they're good at hiding what they do.
Yeah, I mean, I think it should be at least some type of, like, maybe 2 or 3 years, but I mean, we're not gonna figure it out here tonight, but, well, I guess we're gonna have a discussion, but, I mean, what do you everyone suggest, like, every year, 2 years?
I think
I say at least 2.
well, I don't know, like 3, I mean, I think the landlord, the property owner, they're already following, as long as they follow the regulations or rules or laws, you know, getting the permit in there, making sure the people are right, you know, have the proper ID and the background check, and there's no incidents.
I mean, no, but as she
That we
said,
know.
that we know of, I mean, things do happen, not, like I said, this is not anything to discriminate against anyone, this is just an additional document that we're requiring. It's up to what the landlord wants to do with
Right.
that.
Now, the devil's advocate, is it per person that moves in? Sometimes you'll have like 2 adults and a child, so it would just be the 2 adults.
18 and older.
And
obviously
my
not
other
their
question
children.
is just playing the devil's advocate, this can be very costly when you have 30 rental properties to say, how much are we expected to pay out? What are the benefits for the landlord other than?
Well, just to understand, I mean, it's just.
There's a lot of free sites out there now.
Oh, is there?
Yeah, what was
A lot of
the
free sites.
go on the-
Well, I think we pay for one, like all year,
United
just as one.
Yeah, and I mean, and we can have like a link on the paper say, you know, for a free, well, not say for free subscription, that's not the right word, but for free background checks, you can go to this site, so that way, you know, there is a free option, or if you wanna pay to get, you know, the state police one done, whatever.
Right, and you can pay it by the year and then hand it in for your taxes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, I just think it should be at least every 2 years, that's my own opinion, I don't know if that's the right one or not, but,
Do every 2 years and every time you have a new tenant.
yeah,
Well, every time you have a new tenant, that's,
Yeah.
yeah.
And then if somebody else moves in, if the tenant has, if you have a tenant and somebody else is moving in with them, you have to, obviously, it's a new tenant, you know, you have to, you have a woman or man renting off of you and have that, just have their girlfriend or boyfriend's moving in with them, and you have to let the city know.
And then my other question is say somebody does, after 2 years, they come up with a record, what determines the point where the landlord would say, okay, you need to be evicted?
That's up to the landlord.
Oh, okay,
Like,
so
we're-
why are we doing
the-
why are we doing the background checks if it's just all up?
Well, the nuisance abatement ordinance is in effect right now, so you explain it to me, make sure you'll leave.
Basically, there's a nuisance abatement ordinance that says if you get so many ticks, if you have so many arrests in your house, okay, then you get so many points against you, get so many points, you can be put on the nuisance list, you can go down that road. So it's, what we're doing is attempting to deal with some of these houses that are traditional problems.
Right.
Okay, so we are saying if you get arrested for X, Y, and Z, you get 10 points. If you get arrested for A, B, and C, you get 5 points. But if you get 12 points or more in a year, you're going on the nuisance list.
Now,
If that
I'm not
persists, then we
against
can pull
anything
your
you're saying,
resolution.
because everything you're asking, we do. However, there are landlords that are, like, they have tenants that are always leaving them stuck with money and everything else. What happens when they have somebody that moves in, does all this stuff, we aren't privy to that information, and then the third time they have to kick them out?
Well, you don't- you
Then
don't-
there's
you don't
an
have to kick
eviction
anybody
notice,
out.
it takes time.
No, there's no rule that anybody has to be
Well,
kicked
then
out.
there's, yeah, but then if you're not kicking them out, then the landlord's held accountable for it. And not to mention, I know houses that are way more of a problem than a rental property. I've seen homeowners that have been absolutely tragically offensive in this community, so, I don't feel like that you're targeting any landlords, but I do see other people feeling that way.
Just to be clear, the nuisance abatement ordinance doesn't just count for rentals. That counts for homes or rentals, okay? What we're saying is we can't force anybody who buys a house in the city to get a background check. However, we can ask landlords to do that on behalf of the city of renters. So that's what we can do, okay? And basically, there are other reasons for it, one of them being the safety of our city workers, be it police, the code, whoever. we know who's living where and what they're looking out for. So that's another consideration of why we're doing it. But, you know, the benefit to the landlord, they're gonna know the same thing. They're gonna know who they're dealing with. And I think that goes a long way towards providing safety for everybody.
There was a fire, that last year, Chief, and there was only supposed to be three or four people living in there, and there was actually 2 people that city didn't know about that was living there.
There's a couple of fires that happened.
Yeah, and that's for their own safety and own protection also.
So when you go to the fire, you guys look this up right away to see how many people are in the house?
Yeah, so they know who to contact, to say,
Right.
to say it is a improper, they say, all right, we're looking for 2 adults, we'll say Joe and Sally and 2 kids of whatever.
Gotcha.
But then when they do go to incidents at the time, they're finding out there's more than just Joe and Sally and the 2 kids, and they're like, well, how many people are we actually looking for? There's still people in the house. So it gives us, when there are incidents or when our code officers have to go in, it gives them like, all right, what do we know, so if it is a life safety situation, we know, okay, is everybody accounted for? Is everybody safe? Because the main priority is, you know, everyone's safety that's involved in the whole situation. Any other questions, anyone?
Only comment I have is the fact, of course, we have senior citizens living in rentals, been there for years and years, but we'll do the background check. I think 2 years is too short, it should be at least 3, but that's beside the point. You said about notification, letting all the landlords know. If you're gonna do that, John, then you ought to take and have a letter sent out that will find all the landlords now so they can prepare for this.
Well, why do they need to, you get the letter in the mail, and I don't know when it's January, I don't know when it gets sent out, and it says,
It all depends how the office decides to send them out. Sometimes you get them the 3rd month, sometimes last year, I think they were pretty early. Depends who's working in the office.
so you're saying we should, if this passes, we should send a letter out now saying what to expect come 2025, is that what you're saying?
Or, when letters come out at the beginning of next year, give more leeway to the landlords. Because some landlords, like Deb said, have a lot of.
I say we send the letter out now, if it has to.
What were you saying, Jim? I didn't hear.
Well, what I was saying, some folks here in the city have numerous rental properties. It's not gonna be a 5-minute job.
So we can, if it does pass, we can send letters of notification out this year saying come 2025, here was a change, be aware of the change, and say, once again, here are, you know, we'll say a free option for a background check or other options for background checks.
And you can
That's
send,
all being tweaked.
and you can send a reminder of what the other requirements are for the rental permit.
I think it should list every possible free
Yeah.
background check that's out there that we know of.
There's one main one that's easy to get into, and that would be the one.
And then the additional cost will be back onto the code office, right, John?
No, why would the additional?
I was also thinking that if the landlord or the property owner wanted the code to do a background check, we could nominal fee, what, no?
I wouldn't put that.
I wouldn't put that on,
First of
yeah,
all,
no,
it
they
depends
don't.
on the manpower anyhow.
We're going too soon.
Ah, touche. All right, any other questions on that one?
May I,
Go ahead.
go ahead, Julie, or whoever it was.
Julie, go ahead.
Okay.
So when you're talking about clearances, what have you?
Not clearance, it's just the PA background check. It's the PA background check to start here.
What does that include?
It just says, oh, sorry, Joe, you may be able to better explain that
The
one.
Pennsylvania background check would just be if the person has been arrested in Pennsylvania and convicted of any crime. That's what it would be.
Okay.
And my other question was, is I get that we have to, you know, do the background checks, but I also want to know, because that's scary, you know, have people around that are criminals. However, I want to know, there's also lawsuits and issues with people getting hurt when there's sidewalks that are all beat up, and those are residential, not landlord-owned properties, and we need to start focusing on those as well.
Yeah. I know the code, I know they're short-staffed right now, I know Mike's doing the best he can to get out there as much as he can right
This is
now.
gonna cause a lot more work, isn't it?
What was that, I'm sorry?
This will create a lot more work with the whole landlord thing, isn't it?
Or
What
it's
is, I just want to know, like, what is more important here? Like, we're worrying about the landlords getting background checks, but there's no real consequence to not doing it.
Well,
And then we have
my own opinion, Deb, I know what the consequence would be, they don't get the housing permit, just like if you don't, but that's up to council what they want to choose to do with it. It's just like if you don't turn in whatever, you don't get what you're supposed to
So
get.
how
That's,
much more work is this going to create for code then?
my own opinion, John or Mike, correct me if I'm wrong, you come in with your documentation. You don't have this, sorry, you don't get your permit, that's
So
it.
how do you know all the landlords? Do you have an idea of who the landlords are?
Yeah, they have a list of everything, they send out to everybody.
We haven't got it.
That's coming up when we get
Joe, go ahead.
Joe Sussman, how often do you inspect the rental property?
Every 3 years it gets done.
Every 3 years?
Yeah.
Then wouldn't you say it'd be a good idea that instead of changing everything up, make those
At the same time?
at the same time? You just have to do both at the same time?
Well, see, Joe, the rental permits are yearly. The inspections are every 3 years.
Yeah, well,
I mean, as I said, we can figure that date out, it's just a matter of what council
It would
wants to
help
agree with.
in tax collection, it would help a lot, because you know who lives here, you know who to send the tax bill to. And I know Wendy would love that to happen. But I was just wondering, in the space of time, I have CDL for hazmat every 2 years.
Yeah.
I have to have the inspection. I have all my certifications for being in the school. How many years is that? You should know.
It was 7, they changed it to 5.
Yeah. So, a lot can happen and a lot can't happen. You know what I mean?
Go ahead, Lindsay.
Okay, so correct me if I'm wrong, if a landlord is, somebody's applying for, to rent a house off of someone, it can be to the landlord's discretion that they make the tenant pay for the
Yeah,
right?
I mean, Steve, it's all up,
I mean,
Yeah,
that
correct,
would
you can-
save the landlord's money.
But then you have consequences to the tenant.
If they
When
get
I
one
was,
that's
when I was
costly.
One of
younger,
those every couple of
when
years.
I was younger, every, I rented houses before where I had to do
you had to provide
a
everything.
credit check and I had to do
A
the
one-time
background
thing.
check.
Not
No,
every 2
no.
years.
Well-
Every 2 years you had to do.
But
you know.
it's up to the landlord how they choose to want to do it. I know some landlords, like if you look online, they require A, B, C, D, and if you don't do A, B, C, D, they don't even look at your application. It's however the landlord wants to do it. Like I said, we're gonna give them different options of which they can go seek the free background or they can pay for it. It's whatever they want to do. We're gonna make it as easy as possible on everybody.
Don't you think it's worth a couple extra bucks though to do a good background check so you have somebody
Oh,
good in there?
I do. I have a landlord that, or there's, I don't have a landlord, but there was a house near me that the guy rented to anyone who paid him in cash, and that was miserable for us. And it was like, there was a new tenant in
It's
there
like
every
anything else.
summer, 4 years in a row, and
You
then,
get what you pay for.
you know.
Julie, you have one more statement?
Yeah,
Question?
just one more thing. So there are a few people, I'll say a few, I can't say quite a few, but there are some people that are from out of state that live in town. So what if they committed a murder in Iowa and they're,
We're gonna, I'll say this, Julie, we're gonna crawl before we walk here, so we're gonna take a baby step at a time
Okay.
to see how this works out, and then we'll look further
okay,
into that situation.
okay, just so you,
Yes, we're gonna crawl before we can walk.
okay.
All right, moving on. Police department fencing. So, when they first built the police department, there was some, in the original blueprint, Jim, you could probably help with this, there was about putting a fence around the rear parking lot. Vinnie Clausy did donate $5,000 towards that fund. Now, just more so recently, there's been a lot of, we'll call it more issues in that rear parking lot, a lot of people driving through the parking lot, a lot of people throwing nails in the parking lot, a lot of issues going on. So, I said we still have some money set aside. I'm sorry the chief couldn't be here tonight. There was an issue. We had quotes from different fencing companies. But we want to look into options about getting that fence put up. It would be just kind of a visual, like a chain link fence, and then where the cars would come in, it'd be like the arm that goes up and down to let the vehicles in and out. They would have, we'll call it sensors, I don't know what it is, a sensor in the car that when it gets so close to the arm, it would lift, go in, and it goes back down automatically. But, I mean, there is some money in the budget for that. I want to get some, I just want to see what council, obviously we're not going to look at anything to the next meeting, not even the vote to say, all right, here's different pricing options, see what we want to do. But I want to see what council's thoughts were on trying to get that going here. Obviously not next week, but eventually, hopefully by the end of this year or something like that. So where anyone's, okay. Take it out of here.
You mean an arm or like vandals, like
No.
vandal fence?
No, they want to do a fence till you get to the arm. Then the arm is the entrance to in and out of the parking lot. Because they just found out there's more issues where you have a retractable whole chain link fence compared to just the arm going up and down.
Is the whole fence gonna be see-through, or is it gonna be, a vandal again, where
You
they
know,
have that?
I don't know.
Paneling that line?
I don't know what the best way to do it is. I can't tell you that, so I'm not gonna.
They don't want the see-through, they want the see-through, because if you blank that off, you can hide.
Behind the vehicle or something like that. Since it's not gonna be completely,
That is true,
yeah.
since they're not gonna have that return.
And yes, there are cameras back there with the nail situation. You know how it is, you get a nail in your tire, you don't realize it till sometimes they're away, sometimes they're not, till it goes flat. So you don't know when it took place, and we're not gonna spend, hours looking at film for a nail, so. I mean, we could, but,
So, retractable arms.
yes.
Do you think that's a good idea with these guys, if there's an emergency, they go looking out of it?
Well, it's either retractable arm or the gate fence, and they found out that fence that moves that comes with more issues than just a retractable arm. To say, for some odd reason, in the gate fence, the motor goes down, nothing can move, because all things all together with the arm.
So I mean, I've talked with Trot about this, and
Yeah.
I told him, like, like over here, car wash on the strip, if you remember over there, you just pull up and it just, a little sticker under your
Yeah,
windshield.
I got that.
And it just goes, and it's quick.
It's within, hit the,
How quick does that come ripping in there?
They shouldn't be going so fast. I mean, they got stopped a lot for pedestrians coming out, so don't make them stop.
all right, any other questions on that besides getting quotes? All right, Councilman Ister, Upper Augusta.
Upper Augusta wants to use the ring fence, so they're going to fill the property paperwork out in next year.
Man, they're planning ahead. Robin, put it on the calendar, make sure it's available. All right, and then I know Councilman Barnhart just wanted to give a quick update on the iWorks.
iWorks, though, we had a Zoom meeting with the iWorks representative, put some updates in it. Supervisor Mike Rhodes, you want to amplify that a little bit? Because I can't remember everything she said.
So, yeah, we had a pretty extensive Zoom meeting concerning our operating program through iWorks. And we're looking to make some big changes to make it easier for operating the system through our office. That would be more user-friendly for the fire department and hopefully in the very near future for the police department. What we're looking at doing is we're looking at going with the enterprise package, which will include some easy pay, it'll include planning and zoning modules, it'll include a portable module, which is really cool, which is operated off of GIS. All you have to do is when you click on that address, and the whole property will come up. Owner, where they live, tenants, any violations.
A lot more detail.
Yeah.
A lot more detail. Now, the concern is, and this is why it's only under discussion, because I'm gonna be honest with you, I have not had a chance to look at our budget. This all happened last week when I was on vacation, so I apologize for not being fully prepared. But currently, we are paying just about $8,000 for the programs we have now. Okay. With the new enterprise package, we will be looking at just a little over $11,018. So we're right around a $3,000 increase. But if we would take these modules individually, we'd be looking at a higher increase.
Yeah.
So basically what I'm saying is we'd be getting more.
Better for a package deal.
Better for a package deal.
Yeah.
So, yes.
Well, I mean, it's not like you're looking for do it right now, but
No,
plenty of time to plan
I
for
just
it.
wanted to bring it forward to the John, just wanted to bring it, Councilman Barnhart just wanted to bring it forward to let you guys know we are looking at this because mid-year budgets are coming up, and there is, we do have a proposal that if we would start now They prorate everything, of course. So we will be looking at almost $4,000 to finish the year out, but we'd have to, of course, look at our budgets. While I have your attention, may I go back to the housing permit just real quick?
Go ahead.
And I appreciate everybody's comments. They're very, very good comments. But I have to look at the work it's gonna cause my women up front. You know, if I would have a voice in this, I would ask for two options. One option is do it every year, or one option is do it as we get new tenants. The reason being is, if we do it every year, when we have our larger annual property owners that come in, that submit like 35, 40 applications at one time, okay, or 40 properties at one time, which we do have that. That is extra work, trying to go through every application, making sure everything's good. My concern is, if a property submits a background, there's an offense on that background, but he submits it anyways. My concern is, we're gonna miss it. So, I think if we can do it by 210, or
I like a year.
or by year, look, by the year based on, and first we have to put some, we have to maybe put some type of stipulation saying that upon review of your information, suspension could occur, something like that.
No, because
No.
if they get an offense on the background check, it
No,
doesn't
yeah.
matter. As long as the background check
That's what I'm saying,
is.
if we miss, then we have to go back. When we get multiple applications at one time.
I think he's saying if they, let's say they're going through 50 applications, for example, and we'll say number 10, they forgot to submit it. That's the point, they forgot to turn something in, that you're saying, like,
No, that's not what I'm saying is that they have an offense.
On
the background check.
no, that doesn't mean anything.
But they submitted, we missed it.
That doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. We're not saying that they can't rent because they have an offense. The background check is what we care about. As long as they get the background check, they can have a rental permit.
Yeah, so the background is not to say they can't do anything. We're just saying, we just like to have it on file so we know what's going on.
So the property owner knows who they're renting to.
It would be on the property owner to check that and decide if they want to rent to an individual, if they have an offense or not. That is completely up to them.
That's correct, yes, we are not doing that. Correct, yes. Yeah, we are not discriminating.
So the landlord does care. Would you rent that one?
And we're not saying it is, it's just one of those things that we, if council chooses to have them turn in as one of the requirements. It's just like we require the picture of the driver's license. It's one of those requirements that we ask for. Okay, same concept. We want to know if it's for, as we spoke, as all the other things. Like, Jim, it's simple. If you don't like it, just vote no. It's not a big deal. I mean, we're not just. We didn't say we were going to use it. We're just trying.
You're worried about me, John. I'm worried about why you're asking to do something. You don't worry about the landlord.
Listen, it's very simple. We explain why. If you want to do it, great. If you don't, just vote no and don't do it. It's okay. I mean, you still have to do it if the council says it's what you need to do. But if you don't agree with it, then just simply vote no. It's okay.
That's fine.
Okay.
Two questions on that. One, I thought that you had something to do with the felonies now.
No, that has nothing to do with that. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to
No,
cut you
I
off.
know it has nothing to do with this, but isn't there a separate, didn't we, something with this?
Only if something occurs currently, then there's that
Nuisance abatement.
nuisance abatement. But not anything in the past.
Nothing in that. So if you're coming in new,
So why don't you say they need a roster of who's living there, just be done with that?
well, that's what it is.
Nobody knows who lives in the city though, that's the problem.
Well, that's what my second thing is that how many people have been caught and fined for for not registering in the city?
Caught a lot, fined, I'm not aware of.
You know how many people they find that don't live at the place or didn't know they
So-
lived there, didn't
So
know
two
you
things,
were
one, those two individuals who were arrested that were living, that were came here from Mississippi were not registered, obviously. They were cited?
Yes,
And then alleged homicide on Market Street, they were not also registered.
They were also property owners.
And that nuisance abatement wasn't in effect at that time.
That would have nothing to do with it, just, they were still supposed to be fined for years past, right? You just update it, but years of those cases were.
There are some things that we're behind on, we're trying to get brought up to the All right, any other discussion thing before we move on to announcements? All right, announcements. TV and all things metal recycling program is June 29th at 249 Memorial Lake Drive from 10 to 1. Proceeds go towards Keithans Gardens. Our mid-year budget meeting will be prior to the next council meeting at the work session on July 8th at 5 p.m. Next council meeting will be July 8th at 6:15. Sunbury celebration will be taking place, is it the 3rd, 12th, and the 13th? Just the 13th. The 12th, 11th, 12th, and 13th, Sunbury celebration. The Trot is also taking place on July 13th. Christmas in July is Saturday, July 27th from 9 to 4 in Cameron Park. National Night Out is August 6th from 5 to 8 at the swimming pool. Riverfest will be taking place August 16th and 17th at Merle Phillips Park along the river. New Year's Eve celebration is at the rink and downtown, December 31st. Now, is there any public comment at this time? Please state your name. We'll go with you, Deb, first. Please state your name.
Debbie Betts, and I just wanted to say that I've been making food for the police department on weekends, and I was wondering if there's anybody else in the community, maybe not in the room, but in the community, that would also like to make an effort, even if it's just once a year or once every 6 months. You know, somebody wanted to make food, there's not a whole lot of police officers, we have like 10 of them, so, but I like to do that, it shows appreciation on our part for our police department, so if anyone would like to do that, can we give them, I mean, they can get in contact with you,
Yeah.
if you would let me know.
Yep, and Deb, to be honest with you, you are one of many people who do that, and they are very appreciative of
Absolutely.
all the goodies that
They're
get
so
dropped
kind.
off to them.
They're so
And-
gracious and so thankful for it, they really are.
Yep, and when I go in there, the break table is piled with drinks and food, and they are so appreciative, like, look what so-and-so brought us this week. So they are very appreciative of those
But
things.
that way we don't have everything at one time and
Yeah.
nothing another day. So if you wanna just get, you know, if people get in touch with you, let me know.
We'll figure it out. Thank you.
The code would appreciate it too.
That's
different, that's the
next time.
That's right. Any other public comment at this time? Please state your name, ma'am.
Sarah Dunbar. I would like to know what's going on with the OPG water park. Water hasn't been working all summer.
The pump was in the Daily Eye, and thank you for answering that article. Parts are ordered, have been ordered for months, and they should have been here last week, 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, okay. Why weren't they ordered last year when it was broken, for the start of summer this year?
Well, last year, the parts were ordered, different situation, let's make it easy. Different situation. You know, it's easy to sit back and criticize, but by the same token, it's gonna be up and running this year. And we have a community pool up there.
That you have to pay for.
We have families that cannot afford,
You can come in and
and
say.
they are open even for family pass. I mean, it's expensive.
Well, yes, but you can come in, low to moderate income folks and get a discount, am I right, Bob?
You don't know how many, we sit up there all day long,
You say sit where, help me out.
up at OPG.
They're foster grandparents.
We're foster grandparents.
Okay,
And
thank you for volunteering.
I mean, and it is sad to see people coming in, maybe 3, 4, today we had 6 lunches. Last week, we were lucky if we had any lunches, we sent them all back. Because people come to the water park.
is it gonna be ready for, the opening of, the city celebration?
I would hope so, my goodness, I can't make a commitment.
They
If
come
you be
to
here
the
next
gate.
meeting, ask me why.
Is the water
I'm
on?
sorry?
I said, I can't make that commitment.
You should see those kids, it's sad.
I'm sure it is,
And he goes beyond, and he got more sprinklers, he got extra, like, water gun, you know, the things that you pull. The kids have fun with it, buckets with sponges, but they're not happy. They want the water,
I'll talk
water,
to-
water, water.
I'll talk to Ron tomorrow, maybe we can get a package, and get to take all the kids up to the pool for a day.
It's sad.
The kids aren't coming though, because there's
We
no
used to
water.
have
No, no,
buses.
we can take them to the swimming pool.
Yeah, but we're saying the kids aren't coming to the park because the water's not on. We had 6 kids today. They all left by 12:30. We had nobody the rest of the day, we left at 5 o'clock.
So
There's not one
we're
kid
all
staying.
sitting up there.
So what the city's paying these people to be at the park, at the water park, for what reason? It's a waste of money to even be open if no kids are there.
But we still need adults in case somebody does show up, we just can't lock it down.
But it's not just a water park.
No, but they come to the gate and they say, is the water on? And they say, no, they put it
They
on
don't
the gate.
notice on the equipment.
It's too hot. It's like when we had that last week, it was all hot. They couldn't even touch the equipment because it was hot. That's when they like to enjoy the water. They take them inside. We had rock painting, we had t-shirt dye. Every Wednesday, Lisa comes and does the reading. They enjoy that. As soon as that's over, they're gone. That's it.
So hopefully it's up and running by the celebration.
Yeah, we had, last year we had not even
I mean,
100.
It sounds like they're trying to get it up and running,
They're
right? Is that what you're doing?
Yeah, so-
So I don't know what the argument's about, if they're trying to.
Okay,
get it
Deb,
up.
there's.
It's okay,
there's
ladies, it's
money
okay.
that
All
is-
Ladies, it's okay.
There's grant money that is supposed to be going towards the water park every year from a lady that passed away, I was being told.
I don't know off the top of my
Was
head.
there a right to know that was filed by Victoria?
I don't know off the top of my head.
And yes, there is money, and there's money in the bank to make the payment to.
Then use it.
So instead of ordering parts to be replaced, why don't we just get a whole new water system? If it seems to keep breaking.
$150,000. Remember, that was the quote that Ron had, was $150,000 to replace
So
just some of it. Just
Yeah,
some
if
of
we're
it.
talking the overhaul completely, you're talking at least $500,000, if not more. You're probably looking at close to around, I think the last one, if we really just redid everything, which you're gonna wanna do if you're gonna do that, you're looking at, I think it was $600,000 to $800,000.
And how much did the Dagestein offer to put towards that? I know it's a substantial amount.
There, as far as I'm aware, there wasn't any offer that, since I've been here, to actually a number put onto that. We had had conversations with them about.
There's conversations to get it done, because there's issues with everything, not just the pump, the whole thing.
Correct.
And there has not been an exact dollar amount, we'll say, I'm just using this example of, we'll say $500,000, for example. To say, all right, this is what it's gonna cost, now we can go apply for grants. There has never been that far of a conversation, because we can't get an exact, the people that Councilman Eister, Ron are working with won't give an exact number of what it costs. They wanna know what our budget is, then they'll give us what we want. We wanna know what it costs, that way then we can fix it. So there hasn't been an exact dollar amount, it's a range. So we know it's an issue, it's just a matter if the city is going to address the issue to get the thing fixed, so we don't have these issues moving forward.
Do we pay for like the water and the electricity and that, you have it run every
We
year?
pay the electricity, yes.
You don't have a cost of what that is? The
I don't know,
water,
it's in the invoices with PP&L, I don't know.
Can you find that out, Jimmy? Are you in charge of the park?
Yeah, but that isn't the issue, the dollar.
I know that's not the issue, but everybody's talking about all this money that's going to the park. And it's not just fixing it, there's a lot of maintenance too that has to go with it.
And it's just,
Like the electric,
it's just like
water,
anything that, like, all the lights you see, every piece of property we own has electric bills. Like, we're paying for electricity on the police department on Market Street, we don't even use, it's $100 a month. We don't even know how it's $100, we're still getting charged it.
Right.
So, I mean,
Shutting that off.
we don't, it's not gonna get fixed tonight, but there's options out there, the pumps are coming in. We just hope they're in on time, and like I said, it's gonna take a community effort if we wanna get the entire park fixed, to come get a movement together like the skateboard guys are, skateboard. I'm ready to talk to you guys about National Night Out then, okay? Okay, all right. Are we good on the OPG?
The thing is, it's just sad because there,
Okay,
everything.
just shut up about it, nothing's gonna get done till the goddamn park.
There's
It's okay, ladies.
so much
All right, guys.
older generation, but there's nothing for the little kids.
Yes, and we're hoping to get it fixed here soon. All right, please state your name, sir.
Joseph Stutzman. About 55 years ago, I used to play in that park every day. And I remember them bringing out a yard sprinkler,
We have a,
and there was water there. Can we utilize those with the people we have watching everybody?
I mean,
Get some kind of water going there so kids would want to come there?
I mean, they do that at they do that at times, because I know they do what they can. But at the same time, when people are, not just Sunbury residents, when people are coming from outside the city, they expect an operational water park. Hopefully that's up and operational here soon. Anything else, Joe?
I was just saying there are a couple of things you could do in the interim, so you figure this whole mess out, right?
That is true.
To help the kids out, cool them off.
That's right. All right, any other public comment at this time? Any other, oh, go ahead, sir. Please say your name, sir.
Dave Whipple. I'm wondering why they have not fixed Packer Street at all, not touching it at all. Why don't they help close the damn thing down if they're not gonna fix anything? The reason I'm saying that, last year it cost me $450 to fix my car because of the freaking potholes. This year, I have a different car. It was raining, I didn't know the one pothole was there, it was over 8 inches deep. Why can't they fill it with at least the junk from off of Susquehanna Avenue, since they don't want to do cold patch or hot patch, at least put some stones in there and fill it the hell up. It's annoying. Our street department is not doing its job, that's the way I look at it. And I also look at other things. I haven't seen the street sweeper running 2.5 weeks on Edison Avenue. Is it broke down again, or what? Any answers?
I can't speak about that one.
Street sweeper is not broken down.
Okay, then he must not be coming up. Edison Avenue.
There are times during the summer that I'm short-staffed, that I'll pull Jeff out of the sweeper and use him for other tasks around the city to catch up on.
Okay.
When we get the streets clean.
Okay,
So
well,
springtime, we run them every week.
I've
And
been,
then we get into the summer, we start slowing them down a little bit and start using them for other tasks.
Okay, well, I've been picking up trash in our block, just so it's not on the street. And I don't think I should have to be doing that when we have a company that's supposed to be doing it. The street sweeper. Why are we doing it? Because we don't want to look like hell. And I'm honest about that.
Yeah, we do our best to keep everything clean, but I just don't have street sweeping to do. I have a lot of other tasks that I need to do with my department.
Okay? Well, I'd like to see him up there tomorrow. It'd be the first time in 3 weeks.
See what my schedule looks like.
Okay.
And regarding Packer Street, that is slated to.
Packer Street is slated for next year. Packer Street gets cold patch on it every freaking week. Packer Street gets something done to it every single week. It is destroyed.
I haven't seen anything done to it in the last month and a half, and I drive on that street every freaking day.
I'm not gonna argue with you, sir. I'm just telling you, I just passed my men up there to work every single week. We cold patch across the whole city. And that includes Packer Street. Some things are just blown out to the point where you can't do much, and we're tearing the whole street apart next year, sir.
Well, that's a good thing, because it needs it.
I clearly aware of it, sir. I've been working my butt off for 4 years saving money for that street.
Okay. I hope I live next year to see it.
You will, sir.
I don't know if it's 75 next year. We'll see.
My mom's 85, she just got a cow valve put in, you'll be fine, get a cow valve.
Any other public comment? Go ahead, sir. Please state your name.
My name's Ed Knoll. My sister and I were a little late. I was interested in this for the properties coming up across.
We didn't discuss that here tonight because we're still compiling that list of all of them. So it's not one of those things that we brought some now, some later. We want to compile a list. We want to make sure when we do sell properties, where the funds can legally go, because some properties were, you know, given, some properties were torn down with grant money. We just want to double check to make sure when properties are sold, where the funds need to go, because we don't want to have to, you know, we don't want to rush something, they're like, oh man, we never should have done that. So we're still compiling that list. When we know we're going to do the auction, we'll obviously make announcements to the public, have something in the item, and go from there.
However, I will say thank you, Derek, you did say that was going to be fine, so.
Well, originally it was, but some things did change.
Which is fine, I'm just so you know, it was accurate.
Right.
Any other public comment at this time? Any other public comment? All right, adjourn this meeting.